Hey everyone, it's me, Miss Crichton. Today's FQ is How does Congress work? Today's Do Now can be found in the first question of today's Schoology quiz. Use the link in the question to look up your representatives using your address. Enter your building number, street, and Brooklyn. I entered the school's address, so if you live in Sunset Park, these would be your representatives. These are the people who represent you in Congress. What do you think your representatives are supposed to do for you? Answer this Do Now in the first question of today's Schoology quiz. You can stop watching this video now because the rest of today's lesson is split up into sections in today's Schoology quiz. The focus of today's lesson is Congress. Congress is one of the three branches of the federal government. Its job is to make laws that affect the whole nation. Literally, Congress is a group of 535 representatives who meet in the Capitol building in Washington, D.C. Each one of these people was elected by the people of their home state to speak for them in the national government. They debate and discuss proposals for new laws, and then they take a vote. A proposal needs a majority of the representatives to vote yes in order to become a law. Constituents are the people who are represented. In these photos, you can see Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez meeting with her constituents in the Bronx, and Tim Scott meeting with his constituents in South Carolina. In the United States, all of us are constituents, even if we can't vote, even if we're not citizens. A representative is supposed to represent all the people in their state or district, including the people who didn't or couldn't vote for them. As a constituent, you can put pressure on your representatives to make the laws you want. You can call them, email them, at them on social media, or even show up in person to their office. This is one way that non-citizens participate in the political process without voting. All of the rules for how Congress works are spelled out in the United States Constitution. The Constitution was written at the Constitutional Convention in 1787 when the U.S. was still a brand new country. One of the conflicts that came up during this Constitutional Convention was how many representatives should each state get? Because remember, Congress votes in order to pass laws. So if one state has more representatives than another, that equals more bodies in the room and more votes and more power. There were two possible answers to this question. In the New Jersey plan, each state would get the same number of representatives. In the Virginia plan, the number of representatives would be based on the population of each state, so higher population states would get extra representatives. The solution the authors of the Constitution came up with was called the Great Compromise. Basically, they agreed to do both the New Jersey plan and the Virginia plan by creating a Congress with two parts. The Senate was based on the New Jersey plan. Every state has 2 senators who are elected every 6 years. The House of Representatives was based on the Virginia plan, meaning the number of representatives each state gets is based on the state's population. Representatives in the House are re-elected every 2 years. Every law must have majority support in both houses of Congress. This map shows how House seats are distributed today. Notice that New York has 27 representatives, while Montana only has 1. That's because representation is based on the population of the state, not its geographic size. The Constitution requires the federal government to conduct a census or count every 10 years to see how much the population of the states has changed. We just had a census in 2020, so once those results are processed, we might see some states gain a few seats and other states lose a few. The Great Compromise brought on another conflict at the Constitutional Convention. Once it was determined that representation in the House of Representatives would be based on population, would enslaved people count toward population? To be clear, no one at the convention was considering allowing enslaved people to vote or participate in politics, because if they could vote, obviously the first thing they would vote for would be their own freedom. The white men at the Constitutional Convention were asking whether slaves would count as part of a state's population to increase the political power of white men in that state. In the conflict over slavery and representation, the southern states wanted slaves to count because it would give the white leaders of the southern states more political power because the South had the most slaves. Northern states did not want to count slaves because it would benefit the South more than the North. The compromise they reached was pretty messed up. They decided to count each enslaved person as 3/5 of a person. This decision had the effect of giving extra power to the white political leaders of southern states, most of whom were slave owners. It did not give any political power to enslaved people themselves.